Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do a face swap and try and make it look somewhat convincing, and maybe try and match the lighting, blend it a little better than just copying and pasting a face onto another face. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the image of this girl here and drop it onto the image of this guy so that she'll be inside the hoodie instead. So let's go ahead and take the image here. I'm going to get my move tool, hit V on the keyboard, and just move that onto the canvas. Now the image is a lot larger than the original one, so let me zoom out here and get my marquee tool, scale this down just a bit. Right click, free transform, and I want to shift click from one of the corners here and just scale that down. Confirm that, hit the checkbox. Alright, now the other image we don't need no more, so we can just minimize that or close it. Alright, so let's go back to the canvas here. We've got both the images now. So on this one, let's move that away from the edge just so we can sort of make sure that's right there in the middle of the canvas. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and just select all, Control A or select all, and then I want to copy, edit, copy. So now I can turn that off. So we've got that copied, and then we'll come back to that. So on the background here, let's Control D to deselect, and then on the background let's go ahead and make a copy of that one. Let's work with the copy of it. And now what we're going to do is we're literally actually, since we're pasting a face into the hoodie, it's going to be a paste inside of a selection. So just so that makes sense, you don't want to paste on top and then if you move it, it could come outside. Literally we want to have it to go inside a selection that we draw out here. So on this original image here, I want to draw a selection just inside the actual hoodie itself. So I'm going to go just rather quickly with the polygonal lasso tool and just make my selection just inside the edge of the hoodie here. So I want to grab whatever is necessary just to make sure that we're only grabbing inside where the face is, nothing outside. So just close that off. Alright, so then on a right click when I have that selection, layer via copy, and now I've got my selection made that we're going to use to take the face of the girl, the entire image of the girl really, and drop inside that selection. So let's turn her back on, select that layer, and then do a select all. And then we've already done this, but let's just go right back to it. Select all, edit, copy. So it's been on our clipboard. We'll go through the process. And alright, so now that we've got her selected, let's now change the selection to this guy. So do a control, hold control, and then click on the thumbnail of his image. Now you're going to see that selection. So let's turn this layer off for right now. And then click on the selected layer that we have here, the face. Make a new layer. And now in the new layer, we're going to paste into this selection based on his face here. So I'm going to do Control, Shift, and V. And that's going to paste that entire square image of her face into that selection only. And again, edit, paste into, that's the action that we did. You can come up to edit and do it, or the shortcut that we did was Shift Control V. Alright, so now as you can see, we pasted into that selection, so moving the image, it's not going to come off the actual selection that we have. It's going to stay within that selection. So now I can start working with the proportions of this image now. So I'm going to get my marquee tool, hit M on the keyboard, right click, free transform, and I'll sort of just eyeball the scale on how we want to just match her head into the image here. So just keep an eye on the bottom of the image, so make sure that that stays within the canvas there. And right now let's confirm that, and then I can drop the opacity on this and sort of use the proportions as a guide here just briefly. So I can see that her eyes sort of match up. Again, the images are in different dimensions, so you sort of have to like use your own judgment. If everything's not perfect, her neck doesn't go as far down as his does on this image, so we want to just make sure that hers levels out right there, and then bring the opacity up. So this is sort of looking decent as it is. We've got enough room on the top to work with, so we can scale that down a bit. And then maybe push in the corners here. So that looks fairly decent as far as just sort of eyeballing and lining that up, making sure that we sort of get somewhat convincing proportions on here without taking a long time to tweak that. So I'm pretty happy with that. So now what we can do is, since we've dropped it in there, she's actually in the hoodie now. I want to sort of make this a little bit more convincing as far as the lighting and so forth. This doesn't look as clean, so we can go through and blend that a little bit better here. So what I'm going to do is, let's duplicate this layer. So if we work with it and we're not happy, we can go back and start again. I'm going to get the burn tool, make sure my range is on shadows, and the exposure, you don't want to be too high because this is going to burn pretty dark if it's set really high. So somewhere around 24, 25 is good. So let's just go ahead and sort of manually start darkening the inner areas here where it's going to be dark from the hoodie. So I'm going to come around, just darken this up. Whatever you feel is good enough. Just sort of try and match the lighting on these two images. So now she actually looks like she's literally sitting inside with that hoodie on, and that was hers. So now I can do is just go around and just sort of manually, just for my own liking, just edit some of these spots, adjust my exposure and my burn to sort of get a more convincing blend with her image in here instead of the original one. And I've got sort of a bit of the background from her original image, so I'm going to just blend that out with the rubber stamp tool. Just select that, hold Alt, click somewhere here, and then just stamp that, so that'll take care of that. Alright, so that's fairly rough. You can just go ahead and tweak a little bit more as you'd like to. We can even come back to the original hood, the hoodie image, grab the burn tool, even darken those edges up a little bit more if we need to. Scale the brush size down, maybe darken this up a little bit, so we can sort of manually tweak this to our liking. Well, that was the hoodie tutorial. Thanks for checking out this video. Learn from Rocky Art, and we'll have some more videos as the channel grows. Thanks for watching.